Welcome back. Right now, we have David, Tokyo, Broom, and Matt Smith joining us to tell us all about the Real World Homecoming New Orleans. This is a new series, and they were original castmates returning to the show. We're so grateful they're both with us today. Tokyo, I'm going to start with you. Tell me about your decision to return to the series.
Well, I mean, it's my castmates are one of the reasons why I decided to return. Love them. This is a situation and a beautiful thing that we've all been through. So it was a no-brainer for me to come back for that.
And Matt, what about you? How is it different this time than it was the original time you were on The Real World?
Oh, how's it different? How much time do we have? I mean, we're all in our 40s, right, Tokyo? So we're old, so we get to talk about grown-up stuff, which we didn't get to do before. I think also we bring a lot of humility that maybe we didn't have the first time. When you're young and 21, you have the world figured out, and then that reality collides with other people's realities. So I think we all went into this ultimately for one another, wanting to see one another because we hadn't seen each other in 22 years. And then, looking for healing, that's where you go in this chapter of your life, where it's not about a coronation of being cool, but it's about reconnecting with the people you know and the people you love and finding a way to work through whatever story we share together. And for us, our story was on television.
And Tokyo, did you have any hesitation to returning to this series? And looking back at it now, even though we haven't seen it, are you glad that you did?
No hesitation, really. It was more or less just looking at the opportunity as just as an opportunity, and it was fantastic. Just to meet these castmates are part of my history, part of my life, part of my growth. So there was no hesitation, and I really feel great about us reconnecting, to be quite honest.
And Matt, I understand so much has changed in your life. When you originally did the series, you were a Georgia Tech student and really have evolved. Tell me a little bit about what's changed in your life since then.
Evolved, well, then I was single. Now I'm married. I have 6 kids. And evolution, mostly I would call it just a maturity. So I'm very, I guess you could call me just a normal guy living a normal life. I like to be a good neighbor. And so I guess that's what you could call the evolution. I do still love graffiti, but I can't do it because who wants to see someone's dad arrested for graffiti, right, Tokyo? It's just not a good look. It's not a good look. So it evolves a little bit. I'm still a big hip hop fan and all my kids, but yeah, I guess you could say I've grown up into who I was meant to be. And I think what you met before on the first show was a young man looking to find his path.
And Tokyo, what about you? How has your life changed since originally doing The Real World?
Okay, so originally, just for your viewers and to understand a little bit insight, I don't particularly watch the show. So as far as changing, I just go back to, writing and doing my creative things. So it hasn't changed per se. And again, this time going into it, the thing that's changed for me that I'm allowing to be that catalyst for my evolution is taking my roommates with me and not just completely putting the show aside and saying, okay, that was a blessing, now move on. This time I'm moving on with my castmates and being more involved and being more in touch. I think that's where it's different.
Christine, if I could add on to that, what makes this unique is that we all in adulthood retreat to our people, the people who are very much like us. We have the same interests, and that's the natural chart. That's a natural course that we all chart as adults. And what's kind of cool, you mentioned earlier, you said, Tokyo, did you have hesitation? That's all I had. But I knew that, hesitation, like reality show editing is a big thing. It's not reality, it's reality television. So there's kind of a blend in there. So a lot of hesitation, but ultimately to be reunited with these 6 people, so for the 7 of us to come back together, it probably would never happen again if it weren't for a show like this. And in my heart, some of us, are very active on social media, other people not so much. So it was really neat to have this opportunity. Like, who gets this? Like, it's like a high school reunion times 10. And so, yeah, that's some of my thoughts on that one.
And Tokyo, anything else that you'd like our viewers to know heading into this big reunion?
Well, I want to kind of, give people the opportunity to understand that, just to kind of go in a little bit of what Matt said, we all came back for each other. And we understand now, 20 years later, because we did this before social media, before we did this before all of that became prevalent in our society, we understood the things that we were up against. We realized that coming together as a cast during the age of hyper socialism, or so not socialism, excuse me, hyper social platforms and things like that, we needed to do this for each other and not just for show. We want to show people the love. We want to show people how we talk through things. And I think that is something that you're really going to see in this reunion, and how we work through things and how we can be an example of how, no matter how difficult discussions are, we are stronger and we are better together.
Well, thank you so much, Tokyo and Matt, for joining us today. The Real World Homecoming New Orleans premieres April 20th on Paramount+. Appreciate their time with us today. We'll be back with more right here on Mountain Connections right after this.